Arab leaders are gathering in Cairo this Tuesday to discuss an alternative to Donald Trump's widely condemned plan for the U.S. to take over the Gaza Strip and displace the Palestinians living inside. The Arab League summit on the reconstruction of Gaza comes one day after the Israeli prime minister again gave his backing to Trump's plan to create the, quote, Riviera of the Middle East, calling it visionary and innovative. Hamas is now urging the Arab summit to, quote, thwart that displacement plan. UN estimates have put the cost of Gaza's reconstruction at more than $53 billion. The destruction, the result of the war that started 18 months ago after Hamas's unprecedented attack on Israel. Well, we're going to talk a bit more about all of this now with James Andre, who joins me on set. James, first of all, let's talk about what's at stake for the Arab nations. What are they hoping to achieve?
Well, what they're hoping to achieve is to offer an alternative plan to the one that the United States is offering and that Israel is quite happy to endorse. They're trying to find a solution by which there would be no displacement of the Palestinians. And this is vital for both Egypt and Jordan, because indeed these two countries are the ones that were taking the bulk of the 2 million refugees if they were kicked out of Gaza. And of course, that means, potential destabilization of the whole region. So the idea here is really to have these 22 countries of the Arab League to sit down and come up with an alternative plan. And this is very much what they've been deciding to do. Now, people have started to arrive already. We know that, for example, Ahmed al-Shara from Syria, the new leader, is in Cairo as we speak. Mohammed bin Salman, though, isn't. He's represented by the Foreign Affairs Minister. So that may start to show that there are some, divergences when it comes to what the actual plan should be. But it is a case of stepping up as leadership, which has not happened in these 18 months of war for these Arab nations, and to start, coming up with a solution, an alternative solution as to what needs to happen to Gaza at a time where we have a second phase of a ceasefire that is not starting because indeed, the Israelis for now are saying they want an extension of the first part of the deal. And indeed, there is a blockade there. And indeed, Israel have decided to stop all humanitarian aid and all goods coming into the Gaza Strip at this stage.
James, there already have been some leaks as to who might be part of this eventual transitional government. What more do we know about what this could look like?
Now, to be bluntly honest, we don't know that much. We know what the basic idea is. The idea is, in the first stage of these discussions, the first phase of the plan, that would be an emergency phase, would be first create some sort of an alternative governance inside the Gaza Strip to the Hamas, because it is clear, and this is something that has been stated by the Egyptians as a first step, is that indeed Hamas needs to be removed from its role as the administrative power in the Gaza Strip, simply because that, any other solution would not be acceptable to Israel, and also to some partners of inside the Arab League, such as, for example, the United Emirates, who would not consider it possible to finance, for example, fund reconstruction if Hamas is still in charge. So that would be the first step. In its place, what they would like is to create an international stabilization force, which is not clear who would be part of this force, but it would be made up of potentially, Arab countries' soldiers who would be there in order to ensure security, and also a steering board that would be designed from, there again, Arab state representatives, Palestinian representatives as well, and potentially also British and US personalities. But once again, we don't know who we are exactly talking about here, who would indeed take over from Hamas and rule the Gaza Strip during this first phase. And then in a second time, there would be a rotation of the population that would be moved as the Gaza Strip is progressively rebuilt over a time frame of about 3 years. So basically, we'd have displacement inside the Gaza Strip while other parts are rebuilt, and then a comprehensive deal with the Israelis in order for for this crisis to end definitively. And this is where there are a lot of question marks, is who would be part of the steering board, who would foot the bill when it comes to the damage in Gaza. And then, of course, there is this big question of, will Hamas consider stepping aside? Right now, the negotiations are blocked when it comes to the second phase of the ceasefire deal, because Hamas says, we will not put our weapons down, and Israel says they want total demilitarization of the Gaza Strip. The Hamas itself wants Israel, and this is what the second phase of this plan is, wants Israel to indeed leave the Gaza Strip and evacuate all its soldiers from the Strip. So this is situations we'll have to see if indeed there is a final communique with these discussions and what indeed the plan that is outlined is.
James, thank you for that. France 24's James Andre.